World War II Weapons and Strategies by Kaden. World War II weapons: rifles, submachine guns, pistols, grenades, and tanks. World War II rifles. Rifles were the most common weapon used by the Allied forces and the Axis powers in World War II. Along with the rifle, the Allies and the Axis powers used submachine guns like the Thompson gun and the M3 grease gun machine gun. Pistols were mainly used in close combat by the Allies and the Axis powers. The Allies mainly used the .45 caliber 1911, while the Axis powers relied on .38 caliber pistol. World War II hand grenades. Hand grenades became a very popular weapon for both sides during the war. Over 87 million hand grenades were produced during World War II. Tanks became a major part of the war because it allowed less troops to be on the battlefield and gave each side more firepower. The main tank for the Allies was the Sherman tank, and the Germans used the Panzer tank. Allied strategies. The biggest strategy was to stage an attack on the German occupied coast of France to fool them and attack Normandy Beach, which led to D-Day. Here's a video of D-Day.
Supreme Allied Commander Dwight D. Eisenhower prepares to invade Europe during World War II.
It's very clear at some point that in order to win World War II, the Allies would have had to invade the country. And the build-up in England was the only place they could build up from. It meant it was going to come somewhere on the coast of France.
By 1944, Nazi Germany knows the Allies are coming, but they don't know where or when. There are only 3 feasible locations where the Allies could land: the Pas-de-Calais, the Cherbourg Peninsula, or the Normandy beaches.
The reason why this was true is that the Allies were absolutely certain to only land on a beach that could be protected by the air power of the fighter planes that could fly out of southern England. The range of these fighters was 400 miles. Therefore, any landing site had to be within 200 miles of these beaches.
But even with air support, the Allies know a beach invasion of Europe is nearly impossible. Instead of a direct attack, the Allies convince the Germans the attack will not occur at Normandy.
What the Allies were able to do with the clever use of deception, as well as actually clear military logic, was to convince the Germans that when it came, it would come at Pas-de-Calais. And when in fact, they planned to come at Normandy.
It's called Operation Fortitude, and it's one of the most complex deception campaigns ever attempted. The Allies create a fake army that appears ready to strike at Calais. They use inflatable tanks, planes, and trucks to fool German photo reconnaissance.
They would move the tanks and the trucks around at night, and they would have men with rollers actually making the tracks so that there would actually be tracks in the ground so that it would look like there was a real movement of troops during the night.
The Phantom Army needs to be seen and heard, so Allied Army personnel broadcast endless hours of fake transmissions about troop and supply movements.
On the one hand, you would think it'd be a bit of a funny job because you're just sending bogus traffic. But on the other hand, it's a very important job that if they were lax in it or they didn't do it well, it would defeat the whole purpose of the deception plan.
After months of preparation and deception, Eisenhower launches his attack against German-occupied France. June 6, 1944. Allied troops land on the treacherous beaches of Normandy.
When you see those beaches and you see what those men had to face, it's absolutely sobering to realize. And it makes you very proud to be an American, as far as I'm concerned.
The Allies achieve the impossible. Through bravery and determination, the troops are able to take all 5 landing sites at Normandy.
Despite all of the complex planning that went into the invasion of Normandy, it was the small unit tactics and the buddies fighting side by side that wins the Battle of the Beaches, and that's consistent throughout history.
World War II strategies. Leapfrogging, also known as island hopping, was a strategy the Allies used during the Pacific Campaign. It was used to avoid heavily fortified Japanese positions and concentrate on the less guarded islands. Blitzkrieg was a military tactic used by Germany to create disorganization through the use of mobile forces and concentrated firepower. It was a tactic based on speed and surprise. In 1945, the Axis powers collapsed and the Allies won the war. Here are my sources. www.history.com, Wikipedia, and historylearningsite.co.uk.